Hello everybody, my name is Ethan from Other Than Ethan Productions, and today we are reviewing the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, or Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta if you will, but I'm calling him Super Saiyan Blue, it's way too long of a name. Here's the box, it's yellow in coloration, we've got pretty standard pose for him there, standard stuff, Tamashii sticker, or Bandai sticker, Tamashii sticker, yeah. Funimation, Dragon Ball Super Broly logo. On the side, we have some standard poses, him yelling, his belt, his vest sort of cuff. Hold on, let me get that frame. Hold on. His vest sort of cuff things, don't really know what to call them. Have him, with his fists in his hands, cracking his knuckles. Have him base form up here, him fighting Broly. Him doing the Kamehameha from probably the end of the movie. But let's move on from the box to the clamshell. So let me go grab that. Here's the clamshell. Move out of here, Gogeta. Here's the clamshell. Pop it open. Come on. Open up. Come on. There we go. And only one hand popped out. Would you look at that? It's a Christmas miracle. For faces, got a pretty standard stern face. Let me make sure that's in frame. Come on. Yep, stern face. Yelling face. Base form head and smirk. That's the only base form head, just so you know. Hands, we have the standard karate pose. Sort of these hands, standard stuff. Kamehameha charge hands, and Ki Blast palmed hands. So now that we got that, let's move all this out of the way, and we'll move on to articulation. If you couldn't hear me, we're moving on to articulation, starting from the feet and going up. We've got his, shoes, toe joint, no cut, no rotation here from his wraps, double jointed knee, pretty standard stuff, double jointed knee, standard stuff, his sash, sort of, from his belt, rotates around, and it's super pliable, standard stuff, belt, can he rotate? I don't remember. No. But he does have ab rotate, upper chest, ab crunch. Ab crunch. It's tiny. It's not even usable. Can go up slightly. If you ratchet it, but I think you're going to be forcing the plastic if you try and do that. So I wouldn't recommend it. He has standard head articulation, side to side, up, down, restricted slightly by his vest. Besides that, no other issues. From the arms, we have bicep swivel, elbow joint, double jointed elbow, his fists on a ball joint, same on the other arm, of course, and this rotates if you want to do that for whatever reason. But besides that, I guess we'll cover the molding next. This guy's good. He's pretty good, I'd say. His molds are very accurate. His pants are baggy, as they should be. Excuse me. His chest, very well molded. His vest, very well molded. Slightly rubbery, but not too much. That peel and that moves slightly. Good shading everywhere. These are very well molded. His puffs, things that look like croissants. Arms well molded. Pretty standard stuff. It's all very high quality, as expected. The blue is this very pretty metallic color that I'm sure if you had some lights in your display, it would catch very well and be very reflective and powerful looking. Just so you know, right now I have him with his smirking face on. But besides that, there's not much else, because Gogeta's design is relatively simple. As the fusion jacket and pants are basically the only things, but his chest is very well molded. What little of his back is there is very well molded as well, and it's all well shaded. So I guess we can move on to the poses that I would recommend Let's get the one base form pose out of the way. Come on. There we go. Jeez, this is always annoying to do. No, I don't want to bend his hair. Also, something strange about this is it seems that the core of this hair is blue. See, it's got blue pegs. So, just slide. Yeah, come on. Is that on? Yeah, okay. Just slide that on. He only comes with a smirking face. Pretty big con if you want to pose him in base form from when he first fused. But I just really recommend just having him with his hand on his hip, hand down, looking off to the side slightly. Maybe if you have the Piccolo, oh jeez, toe's still up. If you have Piccolo, you'll pose pretty well with him. Or it might be better to do it this way, so that way he's not, you know, smashing on his little sash there. Come on, work with me here. Looks like, there we go. This is a pretty good pose if you want to pose him in base form. His hair is very, very shiny, despite it being black. Looks good, is what I'm saying. It's very jet matte, I guess, kind of. But now that we got that out of the way, let's go on to the more exciting poses, because he doesn't do that much except toy around with Broly for about 2 minutes in his base form. I always prefer taking the heads off when I'm putting on, or not heads, taking their faces off when I put on a new head. Come on. Oh, that went on just fine. Actually, much easier than some of the other characters that I have that have, you know, separate heads, like Dragon Ball Super Trunks. But for him, standard powering up, yelling from when he first went blue in that alternate dimension that they broke into, Gogeta and Broly broke into. You know, swap in his screaming face. Oh, whoa, what is going on? There we go. Slide that in. It's his face. What is up with this? Hold on. Go on. Go on. Come on. Oh, that's not aligned. That's no good. There we go. His faceplate system's very similar to the Vegeta's, you know, Saiyan Saga, or Scouter Vegeta, if you will. But back to this pose. Screaming, powering up, trying to sort of cock his arms back. Oh, something I forgot to mention is he does, these rotate around, of course, but he has butterfly joints. Very good for posing. But back to what I was saying. Him yelling, powering up, pretty standard stuff. That's a very standard pose. It's not that it looks bad, it's just very basic. For the next one, I'll have him... Actually, you know, we'll keep this one on for this next one. Hold on, give me a second. Hands off. Okay. Oh, jeez. Alright. We're gonna do the Kamehameha pose, but give me a minute to get his hands changed. Back. But for this pose, of course, get him with his hands sort of opposing each other. Bend his knees slightly. Put his yelling face on. Turn to the side. And you got the pose. If you have a charge effect, of course, use that. Hold on, let me make sure he can actually stand. Come on. Is that posed? Come on. Stay flat. No. No, come on. Jeez, this is not working with me. Okay, there we go. That works, even though his foot's slightly up. Oh god, did I ruin it? Nope, he just slanted slightly. But this pose is very good if you want to do the full force Kamehameha from when he almost killed Broly. Great pose, basic pose, works well if you have Broly. But speaking of which, hold on, I have to change his hands back. Okay, so make sure this is on frame. Yeah. As I was saying, any pose with him fighting Broly, any form, full power Super Saiyan, I wouldn't do his wrathful form or his base form because they never really met. But for my final pose, I'm going to bring in a stand because Gogeta does a lot of acrobatics in his fights. You know, when he's fighting Janemba, he did those knees and then a backflip kick. But if you have a stand, he works really well with it because he can you can get him fighting, doing a lot of his, doing a lot of moves like that, like where he bounced backwards and kicked Broly. You can do that. Him flying back. Really just anything where he's posed up with a stand. Can look really good, like him flying around fighting with Broly. Again, any pose really, because he does a lot of stuff in the air. If you want to do like his old, I'm gonna try and do this. I don't know if it'll work, but we can try. We're doing it live. I don't want to have a reference, but sort of like this. He didn't really do this in Dragon Ball Super Broly, but he did it against Gogeta. Not against Gogeta. Against Janemba. I can slide. Falling a bit further back. Oh, now we're falling. Oh, now he's off to the side. But a sort of backflip kick or a kick to the stomach or really anything. Again, oh jeez, come on, these faceplates are not working. This faceplate is just odd. It's not as consistent as I'd like it to be. But yeah, that's basically the final pose. Actually, one more. Also, well, he did do the Stardust Breaker in Dragon Ball Super Broly, but I'm going to do a more in a pose from when he did it against Janemba in his first appearance in Fusion Reborn. As I'm sure most of you know, unless you're very new to Dragon Ball and haven't watched the movies, Fusion Reborn is probably the one of the better ones, not counting the TV specials or the Dragon Ball Super movies. But it's simple. You just pop this hand off. Here's right. No, that's not right. This is right. There we go. Get this hand. Pose him up. Rotate his arm. Oop, that came off. I do wish... one complaint is that these are a little hard. I wish they were a bit softer to make posing easier. But something similar to this, but if you're going to do this, do stern face, because that's how he was against Janemba. He was not as playful as he was with Broly. Maybe due to the fact that he was only there for 5 seconds. Even though that's what made him me him. What made him my favorite fusion was his fight with Janemba. And I haven't even watched all of GT, so I still need to appraise Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Though I love Super Saiyan 4 and Gogeta, so I don't think it'll be bad. But doing this, again, it would have been better if it came with the effect, but it gets the effect across, kind of. Not the best, but maybe go like this. But again, this would work really well if you bought that Demoniacal Fit Super Saiyan Gogeta head. Because he doesn't come with one, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it would have been nice if he did. Rotate his arm down, get back to normal. And now we're going to move on to the things I like and don't like about this figure. Things I like: molding, coloring, all of it very accurate to Dragon Ball Super Broly. Posing's really good. There's no real limitations like on the figurized version. If you've watched that video, please do go watch it. Because they're very different figures despite being the same character. But things I don't like is the fact that he doesn't come with any effect parts. Gogeta as a character uses a lot of ki blasts. He did that big flurry against Broly. He has the Stardust Breaker, Soul Punisher, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. And, well, he didn't use it in Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly. He has the Big Bang Kamehameha, which he should have used, in my opinion, but maybe when he comes back eventually, he'll use it. But he has so much potential, and they just didn't give him anything. I guess that's to keep the cost down, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, since this figure's only about $55, which is pretty good for basically the climax of a movie. And my only other complaint is that he doesn't come with a Super Saiyan head, but that would have made him like Great Saiyaman, where he doesn't have interchangeable faceplates, but he'd come with 3 heads. So I'm fine with just blue and base. Base probably should have come with at least one more head or faceplate. That's about it. I'd give this figure a solid 8 or 8.5 because he's great. he stands out among a bunch of other figures because he's not, wearing nearly as much clothing as everyone else. Wearing just a vest and pants, basically. His colors are very unique, blue, yellow, the lighter blue. All looks very good. But yeah, I'd say that's just about it. And to wrap this up, this is Ethan from Other Than Ethan's Productions, signing off.